Subscribe for more Reddit stories. Wife cheated after 9 years of marriage. Background: my wife kept going TDY, working late, going on day trips, always with some specific guy she worked with. She would text him, and I would see that she would text him. I never suspected anything of that relationship. I was so wrong. So March 2019, I woke up to find one of my wife's toys in the living room. We were stationed overseas, and I had felt something was wrong for quite some time. I work in the psychological field, so I am pretty well trained at reading people and understanding how differences in behaviors reveal things. 2 weeks prior, as we were driving into work, I had straight up asked her who she was cheating on me with, as I knew something was happening. She got angry, belittled me, yelled at me, and made me feel awful for suggesting she even would do such a thing. On March 31st, 2019, I found the toy in the living room, an empty bottle of wine, and saw her phone plugged in the wall for charging. In 15 years of being together and 9 years of marriage, I had never once invaded her privacy or looked at her phone. Seeing the toy, wine bottle, phone, and a sinking feeling in my gut, I picked up the phone and saw videos, pictures, text messages, dating back since the previous year that showed they had been involved in sexual relationship for at least 4 months. Stories of a sexual nature I read that, when I think about it, would have dated back to August of 2018. When I discovered it, I confronted her calmly. I did not yell, swear, belittle. I simply let her know what I found. And I wanted a divorce, that we would split everything down the middle. But I would get primary custody of our 2 young boys. The issue was, I was going back to the States, TDY the next day for a week, and had a family trip planned for Croatia the day after I was getting back. Then another TDY to the US the day after getting back from Croatia. The timing was awful. While I was gone on TDY, she had forgot that I still had access to her Facebook Messenger. So I saw all the messages over the next few days, where she talked about the relationship between her and the dude and how she did not want to break it off with him. I should have ended it there, cut it off the relationship, but did not, as I loved her and I still wanted to make it work at the time. Eventually, I got back and we started to move forward. She agreed to break it off with him, after I had asked her to only have an in-work relationship, no more TDYs with him, no more working late, and no more personal texts. I felt that was reasonable. Those requests were not met, and over the next 3 years, I would routinely find they had been messaging each other. Found out she was still going on day trips with him to the other bases, just the 2 of them, for several-hour car rides. That she went to his house and she would get highly upset at me if I confronted her about it. As we were getting ready to PCS back to the US, she was rarely home. I looked after the kids by myself for the last 2 months or so, packed the house myself, cleaned and moved out myself, and prepped everything for the PCS myself. She stayed at work late every day, continued to go on day trips, and had going away parties. I was trying to be understanding, but we had sex maybe 3 times that whole year. It was December, and she essentially rejected me most every day or got mad at me for something new every week. I felt unloved, unattractive, depressed, suicidal. Nobody knew about that. And felt like the only thing keeping me going was my boys and my obligation to them. We moved from Germany to VA. She started going on daily runs for an hour or 2 at a time, and while there, I found messages between her and the dude. I discovered she was going on runs so she could just video chat him. He had just PCS'd to Japan. This was January of this year, so I realized they had continued the relationship the whole time. She denied that, but I do not believe anything she says anymore. I have lost all trust in the relationship. Lost all belief that it could improve. After I found out, I volunteered for a deployment the very next day. That week, I got assigned to deploy and am now deployed. The day I left, I felt guilty for even waking her up to say goodbye, as I honestly felt numb, like I did not matter enough to her to even care I was leaving. The only reason I feel I am still around is safety, convenience, and to care for my children. Before I left, her and the guy stopped talking, but she wanted me to feel bad about it and said she felt he used her, and if I loved her, I would have empathy for her. I have been here just over 5 months. This time has been a time for us to figure things out. This deployment has given me another perspective on life. Here's the rub. I do not know if I have enough left in me to make the marriage work anymore. I don't want to abandon my family, but I have not felt loved by her in so many years. I do not know if there is a way back from it. I feel guilty for having thoughts of leaving, but even while I have been gone, it is rare for me to be loving on the phone or show affection at all. I return home in under a month, and I am so anxious as I do not see anything changing, and I don't want to be in a loveless, from her, not me, marriage anymore. For more background, as I foresee people saying, "What did you do wrong?" or "What did you not do for her?" So as far as that goes, I was the primary caregiver for the 2 boys, fed, bathed, played, looked after them 95% of the time. I was working on my master's degree, so showed ambition and goals, told her she was beautiful and that I loved her every day, never yelled at her or got angry, cleaned the house and did the chores around the house daily, helped her write her troops an annual report and award packages. She even roped me into writing the annual report and several awards, of which he won, for the dude. This is before I knew what was going on. She even asked for my help with this stuff after I found out. I listened to her vent about her work every single day. Not once in those 3 years did she ask me how my day was. Not a single time. I cooked the breakfast for the boys, cooked dinner, got her lunch on my lunch breaks, and planned trips for the family around Europe. Then also organized her parents to come see us in Germany, arranged for them to get their passports, then booked them flights to visit for Christmas as a surprise for her. So I felt I was a good husband, a good father, and kind. Anyway, I feel anxious about going home now. We have been married 12 years, been together for 18 years, but I don't know anymore.